Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, that's what we're focusing on next today on the program. And we're joined by Mr. Chris Nwokobia, who is a legal practitioner as well as the DG Change Ambassadors of Nigeria. Thank you for coming on this morning.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, looking at that, when a lot of people saw it, there were those who were confused, if I could use that word. They didn't understand what exactly was going on, but the stark reality hit them. They don't understand this concept of change begins with Nigerians, because they thought, look, they were the ones who promised change. How come it's now Nigerians who you're shifting that to? What's going on?
Chamberlain, the first thing that bothers me actually is, first when I saw it, I said, why? And why now? And then the next thing is, my heart goes out to my president. I don't know why this is happening now. And I say advisedly that those who perhaps came up with this idea are more interested in the politics and the pecuniary side of it. Because, I'll give you practical instances, Chamberlain. God, who knew that he had to give rules and protocols to the children of Israel, did not give it to them whilst they were in Egypt. He waited to take them out of Egypt. And then, whilst they were on the way to the promised land, he gave them rules and laws. You remember the Ten Commandments. You know, because at the point at which they were in Egypt, they needed hope. They needed encouragement. They needed words of courage.
Isn't that a typology of hope for Nigerians?
I think that what we saw with Change Begins With Me is another imprimatur, if you like, by leadership to ride the horse and dish out directives. I think that what Nigerians need now is hope, strength, courage. Now that we're faced with recession, we need strong words from Mr. President, not about what we have to do, but about what government is doing.
The impression people get from them is that with this mantra, they are hopeful that Nigerians will imbibe this message and then they move forward.
What we campaigned and told Nigerians was that we were going to give them anti-corruption as a new paradigm in governance. We're going to enhance national security, and then we're going to create jobs and make our country better. Okay? As you and I talk, we're in recession. And what Nigerians need now is not asking them to be the grail bearers of the change mantra, but strong words of hope. And I do sincerely believe that that's where, like I said, my heart goes out to our dear president, who truly cares about our country. I think it's about the advisors. I think it's about the policy programmatic of those who are either acting as SAs or ministers to the president. Because the time has come for us to tell our dear president the truth. What Nigerians need now, strong words of encouragement. You don't tell a child who has no boots to pull himself up with his bootstraps. You don't do that. I said about 5 years ago, when there was a message of everywhere across the country was motivational speakers, and I said that the time will come when this will lose its strength, because the economy doesn't seem to encourage people to dare. And unfortunately, that's where we are. And as you and I talk, we told Nigerians that we're going to bring change. I think that if the dogma had been change begins with leadership, I will understand. Because the truth is that leadership is a parent-child normative.
So you're looking top-bottom?
Top-bottom. That's what leadership is. Parent-child normative. The Japanese will say that the leader shows the way. You don't expect a child in a parent-child normative to lead the parents. What we do is expect parents to show the way. And governance and government in this present situation is a parent of the nation. And what government must do and governance must do is lead the way now. Nigerians want to know exactly when we're going to get out of recession. Nigerians want to understand policy programmatic of government to show up, to create jobs. Nigerians want to know exactly where we're headed as a nation. And at this point, what is auspicious, I'll give you a practical instance. What is auspicious is to give words of hope. When Obama came into America, as president of America, Wall Street had collapsed. There were no walls anymore. Obama spoke in 2 years more than George Bush spoke in 8 years. And what was he telling Americans? He did not detail on the tragedies of the past. He kept telling Americans that so and so period, we will do this. We will create jobs. We will shore up the economy. We'll do this. And Americans needed that hope, and they rallied round President Obama. That's exactly what we need now. We need to begin to build faith. We need to begin to unite our people. We need to begin to remove from what made the past regime fail and how it failed, and talk fundamentally as to how to galvanize the Nigerian people to make real the promises of democracy.
You know, watching you, I think so many people will be amazed, knowing full well that you also campaigned for this government, and now you're saying this. What is it you're not happy with that was promised to Nigerians that you haven't seen?
Let me say this. I have said, and I'm saying for the upton time, that my God is truth. My party is the All Progressive Congress. My president is dear to me. And I think that this is one of the vehicles where we can tell our president that things can be done better. And beyond the politics and the politics around our dear president, things can be done better. I disagree with a situation where in our political dealings we have the wheeler and the hailer paradigms coming out from government. I think that the wheeler is actually perhaps someone who loves this country and loves it differently. The hailer is perhaps someone who believes that this government can do well and wants it to do well. I do sincerely believe that what this government must begin to do is to unite our people. Remove those paradigms, remove the dichotomies, remove the diatribes, and now that we're in recession, forge together to defeat recession. I believe that what we need is a united country. What we need is an economic team that cares absolutely about taking us out of recession and gives an economic team that gives us an agenda, a program, a deadline. So what we need is the Minister of Information and the information agencies that will tell Nigerians, that will unite and unify Nigerians, not that which trades in dividing us along the lines of wheelers and hailers. So I believe that we all care about this country, and the time has come for us to move this country together and defeat our problems as a nation.
So now that the impression we get from you is that this message is out of touch with reality at the moment, does that then mean that that line of communication within the political party is broken down, that people are not getting messages across to the leadership?
Chamberlain, Father Mbaka, who was one of those who helped our campaign, did say that, and some of us try as much as possible to reach out to our dear president, and we've done that repeatedly. But what is important here is to say that change begins with me, great idea, wrongly timed. And that's exactly what I want to say, because the Nigerian people expect us to lead this country away from the jangling discord of poverty and disease to the amazing place of promise. Are we doing that? That's what we should be doing now, and not ask them, not shift the burden of change back to the Nigerian people. I do sincerely believe that those who factored this idea looked at the love for discipline, which our president sold in 1984. He talked about the need for discipline in governance, and unfortunately those who sold it understands the passion of our president, but they have refused to understand that they are totally different, two different things. When you're asking for discipline, a man can be disciplined in hunger. A man can stay on the queue even when he's hungry. But when you ask a man who's without a boot to pull himself up with a bootstrap, when you ask a man who we preach change to, we told them that we're going to make Nigeria better, to be the change that we preached, then that's a departure from our promise. And I think that the time has come for us to live true to the promises we made the Nigerian people. I tell you, Chamberlain, everywhere I go, I have several Facebook IDs, because each time it goes beyond 5,000, you open another one. And every morning I look up my timelines, I see people who are saying to me, Chris, this is not what you people preach to us. Chris, you're shifting the goalpost. Chris, you people are denying what, and then some have said, is it all promises cancelled? And I said to them, no. I have written recently what I call the conversations between partisan, truth, love, and I've asked Nigerians to understand that this is not a one-chance journey. Change is a process, change is a programmatic. I think that I rather that those who manage the information protocol of our president tell Nigerians what we're doing rightly, rather than shift the burden, return the burden to us.
On the lighter note, I give it to Nigerians. They can coin words, all promises cancelled. Let's get Markwe in. I think she might. Markwe?
Well, I'm just as bemused as you guys are this morning as to Chris's stand. But I'm just wondering, some people say that this is President Buhari's mantra of trying to, is it copy what we saw John F. Kennedy say, something about ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Don't you think that even in a time of recession, when people are asking where is the change, where is the change, perhaps if they looked homewards, maybe they can see things that they can begin to do at this point. Don't you think it's a good rallying call, as it were?
Let me say this. I said this over and over again. When John F. Kennedy told Americans, and he said, my fellow countrymen, think not what your country can do for you, but think what you can do for your country. He was calling out to patriotism. He was calling out for statesmen, for optimists to work for America. And that message referred primarily first to leadership. Leadership leads the way. You show where you're headed. And then you can only lead the people to patriotism when you show the way. And I do sincerely believe that when John F. Kennedy did that, you remember he was leading America through several amendments. He had not only allowed for rights to vote, he was talking about true integration. You remember that just about that time, he was receiving the leaders of the black movement in the White House. And he was leading the way.
I hate to interrupt, Chris, but we need to take a quick moment here. But we'll be back and let you conclude your train of thought in a moment. Join us again.